Hello, everyone. I'm hoping you can hear me. If somebody could type in the chat and let me know if you can hear me, that would be great. Perfect. Thank you. I'm grateful and happy that my technology is working for me tonight. So welcome everybody to our parent Schoology training. I know there's still people joining us, so we will just give them a couple more minutes as I know people are still logging on, and then we will go ahead and get started. I do have everyone on mute, so if you need something, you can put it in the chat box for everyone else to see. And I will be closing my chat box here in just a few minutes, and we'll open it up here for questions when we begin our presentation. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and begin. I do still see some people coming in, but it is 6 o'clock, a little bit after, so we're going to go ahead and begin. I do have the chat box open, so if you have questions throughout the presentation, I will do my best to check the chat box often so I can answer your questions. And I will offer some questions towards the middle and end as well. I'll stop for questions, and that will be a good time for me to check the chat box to assist anyone with questions that they have about what they have been seeing. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So thanks again for joining me tonight. All right. So first of all, I'd like to start off with the account information. Once all schedules are complete in Skyward, which they are currently, you should have your login information. You just want to make sure that we have the current email address and contact information in Skyward, so we have Schoology synced correctly with Skyward. Again, we have to have correct information in Skyward in order for it to link correctly with Schoology. You should have already received your login and password from Brian Colson, our technology director, that will enable you to get into your parent Schoology account. If you have not received that information, there's two things that could have happened. One, we don't have the correct information in Skyward, or there could be another problem with the login. So if you did not receive your Schoology login and password, please call the building office in which your child attends, and we will be able to help you get your information that you need. Okay. If for some reason you know that there is the wrong information in Skyward, please update that as soon as possible, because this is going to be where we're going to be pulling all of our email addresses from when we communicate with you through Schoology. Again, I see a couple of things in the chat room that they have not received their Schoology login and password. Again, please contact your child's building office tomorrow. We will be able to get you that information as soon as possible, or go back and check your Skyward account to make sure that we have all of your correct information. Even if you are choosing in-person learning, you still need to make sure your Schoology account is up and running in the event that we do full remote at some point during this school year. So this is a great time within the next couple of days to make sure that you have everything in check before school begins. This is the email that you should have received from Mr. Colson. This is what the email looks like. You have a login link, which actually directly takes you to the Schoology app or on your desktop computer. You have your username and your password. For parents, your parent login, you will need to go to the Schoology.com and you're going to click the login button like it shows on the screen. And again, this is from your desktop computer. I know if you join me Monday night, you are able to download the Schoology app on your cell phone, and you will be able to use your cell phone as a communication tool as well, other than a desktop computer, so you have both options. The student login. The student login will be the address that you see here on your screen, or you can click the Schoology link that's found on the school district webpage. The Schoology link that is on the webpage will permanently be there. So for some reason you lose the actual link, you will be able to access Schoology from our district webpage. All students do have a device, so kindergarten through grade 12 will have a device. Grades K through 2 will have iPads, and grades 3 through 12 will have Chromebooks. On the iPads, the Schoology app will be placed on the iPad for our smaller learners, so that all they have to do is click on the icon on their iPad, and then they will be into Schoology where they have to log in. Students that will be using their login will use the stauntonschools.org email. If your child is in-person learning, they will be given this information over the next 2 days in school. So it will be your Staunton Schools email and their password. If your child is a remote learner starting tomorrow and they do not have this information, I advise you to call the school office and we can retrieve that information for you. Before we begin with our first video, are there any questions about what I have covered so far? I'm looking at the chat room. If anyone has any questions, I'll give you about 30 seconds before we move on. Okay, we have another person that said they have not gotten their information. So please, again, if you have not gotten your information and you have logged into Skyward and you have checked your information to make sure it is correct, that means you need to make sure your email address is correct, especially, and then make sure your phone number, address, everything is correct in Skyward. Because again, we are going to be pulling all of our information from Schoology from your Skyward account. How do we log into Skyward? You should have a Skyward login username and password. If you do not have that, again, contact the building office. The school secretaries will be able to help retrieve that information for you. How do we log in on the app? The browser login. Okay, so if you actually downloaded the Schoology app already, you're going to be taken to a page where you're going to have to select the school. And what you need to do is you need to select Staunton CUSD 6, not the building specific to your child. I know it gives you that option, but you do need to select the Staunton CUSD 6 login information. Do not do building specific. Another question, I logged in, but only one out of 2 of my children are in Schoology. Emailed the help desk and got no response. Thank you, I appreciate knowing that information. Again, if you, I believe that was Caitlin, if you could email me personally, I'll make sure that we get in touch with you sometime tomorrow to make sure we get your account lined up. Or again, you can reach the building offices. If we go full remote, will there be enough tablets and Chromebooks to dispense among the kids that were originally in-person learning? Absolutely. Every child enrolled in Staunton Community School District, whether they're in-person or elective remote, will have a device. Okay, again, if some of you are having issues getting a hold of the school, please email me. And again, my name is Cynthia Tolbert, Superintendent. ctolbert@stauntonschools.org. If you send me a quick email, I will make sure the information gets to the school secretaries tomorrow. I do want to let you know that the school secretaries tomorrow, being the first day of in-person learning, will be very, very busy. So you may not hear from them until after maybe lunchtime or sometime in the afternoon, as they're going to be very busy fielding calls in the office. But I assure you, we will do our best that we can to get in contact with you. If your child is in-person learning, the teachers will be going over Schoology with them starting tomorrow. So those of you that are in the chat room and talking about students not being able to log in, if they are in-person learning, I would suggest that they wait till school tomorrow so the teachers can personally walk through that with them. The teachers will be taking time to show students and to train students on this learning platform. Some of the parents that are familiar with Schoology, I can see in the chat room, are giving some pointers and tips for those of you that are maybe struggling with certain things. So please check out the chat room for some of those suggestions. All right, I'm going to continue to move on, and if you have questions, again, I'll stop at some point and continue to answer any questions that you may have. The first video that I would like to share is what Schoology is and how the parent side is different from the student side. So I'm going to take a few moments and we're going to watch this video and we'll take questions after this.
Parent accounts in Schoology were designed to give parents read-only access to their children's activities inside the LMS. It's important to recognize that parent accounts have certain limitations when compared to active student accounts. Parent accounts are not able to participate as a student in any course or group activity. Here, you can see a student account accessing a discussion in Schoology. The student account can participate and post in the discussion. The parent account is able to see the discussion in some cases, but cannot post. Student accounts can submit assignments on Schoology. Parent accounts can view their children's submissions, but cannot submit on their children's behalf. Student accounts can attempt submissions of quizzes and assessments. Parent accounts are unable to do so on their child's behalf. Student accounts can post inside of media albums. Parent accounts can view the media in the album, but cannot participate or post on their child's behalf. Once again, if you would like to view your child's courses and activity in Schoology, you can use your parent account, where you will see the light blue box at the top that lets you know you're viewing as your selected child. However, in order for your child to complete their coursework, they must be logged in to their own student account.
Okay, before we move any further, any questions about what we saw there, about the two different views from a parent view versus a school student view? While I'm waiting to check the chat box here, I will address one of the questions that was in the chat box. The question was, if there's information wrong in Skyward, can they go in and change that? So I'm going to go back to the slide where I talked about that. And if you look right here on bullet number 3, it says you can edit or add your email address by going into My Account in Skyward Parent Access and add or confirm or change your email. All right, I have some messages within the chat room that you could not see the video. We had someone suggest that if you did not see the video, make sure you are looking at my shared screen and you can switch. Thank you. All right, the next video that I would like to show you is the Schoology parent view. So the video that we saw before kind of gave you an overview of what the teacher sees, and then what the parent, what the parent sees, and then what the students do. Now we're going to go specifically to what you can view as a parent. So when you log into Schoology, you're going to be able to see everything that your child is doing, but there are going to be limitations on what you can do as a parent compared to a student. So we're going to watch this video first on a parent view of Schoology, and we'll take some additional questions from there.
Having a parent account in Schoology is actually like having two accounts. After logging into Schoology with your new parent account, you will first see the Schoology homepage with your personal account. You can tell you are viewing your personal account by looking in the upper right corner where you will see your name. Everything you see on this page will be specific to your personal account. In order to view your children's activity, you will switch to the Child Activity view. Start by clicking on the arrow in the upper right corner next to your name, and then select your child's name to switch to his or her account. The check mark in this drop-down menu indicates which account you are currently viewing. In this example, the mother, Betty Brown, has an account that is associated with her two children, Michael, who attends Mountain View High School, and Nancy, who attends Centennial Elementary School. We will choose to view Nancy's Schoology activity. The first screen that you see after selecting your child is the Student Activities view. From here, you can view Schoology from your child's perspective and see what he or she sees, their grades, courses, and recent activity in every class. The Student Activity area in the center of the page displays your child's recent submissions and grade information, as well as any updates that the teacher has posted in their courses. On the right side of the page, the Recent Grades area lists recently graded assignments, discussions, and quizzes for your students. To view the graded items, click the item you like to view. The Overdue section displays any assignment in which your child did not turn in by the due date. The Upcoming section displays a list of your child's upcoming assignments, discussions, tests, and events. If I hover over each item, I can see which class this item was assigned in. Going back to the top of the screen, we can toggle to Enrollments to see a list of the courses your child is currently enrolled in, along with his or her grade. If the teacher or administrator has chosen not to display the grade while the course is in progress, you will see a blank value, as is the case in the grade columns for the science and the reading and writing classes. You can also view a grade report by clicking on Grades in the top navigation bar. Depending on the settings in place at your child's school, this menu allows you to download a grade report for all courses. If your child's teacher aligns materials to standards, you can check your child's progress in the Mastery area. This is an example of a Mastery report in which we're viewing their progress on each individual learning objective or standard. From anywhere in your student's view, you can go to the top right corner in the navigation bar to view a calendar of past and upcoming events and assignments in all your child's courses. To find out more information regarding a particular event, place your cursor over the title. A clue tip displays with the event type, whether it's an assignment, test quiz, or event, the event's course or group, and the student's name. Here we see that Nancy has a field trip to the planetarium on the 28th and a discussion post due in her homeroom class on the 30th. In addition to all the information you can access from the student activity views, if you want to know even more about what your child is doing in Schoology, you have view-only access to all their courses. In other words, you can see everything the teacher has posted in their course, but you cannot post a discussion, submit assignments, or take a quiz for them. Let's take a look at a course. The easiest way to get to their courses is to click on the Courses selection at the top navigation bar. Let's go into Nancy's 5th grade homeroom class. Inside the course, we can see all the course folders, upcoming assignments, and events for this course. This is exactly how the course looks to students. Here are all the material folders that a student would access. Let's take a look at a discussion that Nancy has already participated in, the color poetry discussion. The easiest way to get to it is by the upcoming events over on the right-hand side of the course. In this discussion forum, notice that you're able to read your own child's posts as well as the teacher's posts, but that all other student comments are marked as anonymous. There is also an option for teachers or district administrators to hide the other students' comments completely so that you only see your child's posts. When I scroll to the top of the discussion, I see that Mrs. Davis, her teacher, has graded my child's post and she received 100. The little thought bubble indicates that a private grading comment was posted from Mrs. Davis to Nancy, which we both can view. Now let's look at an assignment that has been assigned by the teacher and completed by your child. By clicking on Materials on the left-hand course menu, I can quickly get back to the upcoming assignments over on the right-hand side. Let's look at the Animal Habitats assignment. I see that Nancy has turned in 3 revisions. I can view anything that she submits to the teacher. Keep in mind that these assignment submissions are only viewable by the teacher, the student, and the parent. You will never be able to view another student's work, only your own child's. Let's look at Nancy's 3rd try and see how she did. This is the paper that Nancy turned in. After viewing, I can click on the X in the top right corner. If the teacher has graded the assignment, I can see the grade. This little cube icon indicates that the teacher used a rubric for this assignment. As a parent, I can click on the rubric icon to see how the teacher completed the rubric. This is the exact same view that my child has in her course. Lastly, as a parent, I can click on the grades within her course to see a detailed grade report with teacher comments posted on the side. If you ever get a private access only, notice that it's toggled back to Betty Brown. Go ahead and refresh your browser. And if necessary, toggle back to into Nancy's area so that you can view her grades. We're going to go right back into that 5th grade homeroom and click on grades again. This time her grade report comes up with the grading comments along the side. At any time, if I want to view the same information for any of my other children, I can go to the top right corner, click on the arrow by Nancy's name, and switch to my other children. To get back to my parent account, like we just did, again, I can toggle back to my name, Betty Brown, at any time. Once you have your account, you will also have the option to receive a daily or weekly email summary of your child's activity. As you can see, the parent account provides a complete view of everything your child is doing in Schoology.
Okay, at this time I'll take some questions about the parent view, if there are any. I'll watch the chat room. I know there are a few questions as the video was going that I'll address as some of you are typing your questions you have after watching that video. The first question, will we still be using Google Classroom or will it just be Schoology? The answer is we will be using Schoology only. We will not be using Google Classroom. So there is a place in Schoology that we can upload Google Documents, but Schoology is our main platform that we will use. We will not be using multiple platforms, and that's district-wide. So K through 12 teachers, main platform will be Schoology. All parents will have a one-stop shop for all their children using this one platform. Many teachers will also have what is called conferences, and conferences is very similar to a Zoom meeting or a Google Meets meeting, but conferences is done through Schoology. Another question was, are the videos that you were watching online? The answer is yes. The videos were posted on Facebook and online last week. However, these videos will also be shared with the group on the website. I am recording this Zoom training, so this will also be available on the website as well, that you can go back and definitely revisit those videos as you start diving into Schoology yourself. Another question, does Schoology save assignments so you can revisit it if you have to before you hit the submit button? The answer is yes. So Schoology is a web-based program. If a child is working on an assignment and they have to step away, it automatically saves since it is a web-based system. They can come back to that assignment, revisit it, and they can work where they left off and then hit the submit button. The classroom teacher, so you know what they see on their side. If an assignment is being worked on, they will be able to see that, for example, if your son Johnny is working on an assignment and they stepped away, the teacher will actually be able to go in and see Johnny's progress on that assignment, how far they are complete, but they will not grade the assignment until it is complete. One of the questions was, where can we watch this video again? Again, these videos will be placed on our school website. This Zoom meeting right now will also be recorded that you can revisit at a later time, and it will be located on our website. Is there a time where they have to start class online at 8 a.m. like regular school, or whenever they can? That's a great question. So to answer the question, I'm going to talk a little bit about an elective remote learner versus a full remote learner. So an elective remote learner is what parents have chosen instead of in-person learning. So if your child is coming to school tomorrow, you chose in-person learning, or if you chose for your child to remote learn from home while we are in-person learning, you have chosen to electively remote learn. If your child electively remote learn, that is going to be more independent work than if we were a full remote learner. Your child will basically work on their own schedule as an elective remote learner depending on the schedule and whether your child is at a K-5 grade level or a 6 through 12 grade level will determine when the teacher will interact with them daily. So in our full elective remote learning plan, you'll notice in the schedule it has teacher office hours, or where they can make direct contact with the student. During those office hours, teachers will or may contact your child if they have a concern, or maybe if they just want to touch base with them. So I would go back to your elective remote learning plan if you have it printed out, check the schedule to see when your child, if and when they would make direct contact with their teacher. A full remote learner, which means the entire district is now closed and everyone is following the full remote learning plan. Students are required to log into Schoology at a certain time each day to interact with their teacher, and so the teacher can take daily attendance. It is very important and crucial that the students log in each day, whether they're an elective remote learner or a full remote learner, at the specified times when they're supposed to do so, so attendance can be taken. Again, an elective remote learner works more independently, but remember, I shared with you that the teacher will be able to tell if your child has logged into Schoology and where they are with their assignments for each given day, and that's how they will take attendance on the elective side, remote learning side. Full remote learners at the 6th through 12 grade levels will have to report each hour to their class just as if they were attending school in person. If they attend first hour, but they don't attend second hour, the child will be counted absent in second hour, but will be counted present in first hour. So again, it is very crucial and important that your children, if they're elective remote learning or full remote learning, that they do log into Schoology following the specified times within our plan, that they need to be there to be counted as present. Okay, I'm going to check the chat room here for some more questions before we move on. Do our students know what to do in the morning? Do they know how to log into Schoology? Students there will be several people in the building to help with students to get them to where they need to be. We will have a lot of hands on deck to help students get to where they need to be. If your child is concerned, please let them know and reassure them that there will be adults to help to get them to where they need to be. The next question, do they know how to log into Schoology? Students do not know how to log into Schoology at this time. However, that is on all of the teachers' to-do list over the next 2 days in school. If your child is an elective remote learner, in the remote learning platform on Schoology, teachers will take time to teach students how to use the Schoology platform. Next question, you said that the kids in the in-person classes will get tutorials at school. How will elective remote learners be shown the same information? Again, elective remote learners will have direct contact with their remote learning teacher at some point over the next couple of days. They will walk through Schoology with the remote learners. I strongly encourage any elective remote learner that has questions or concerns to email the teacher by using the email located in Schoology. That is going to be your main platform for communication with your remote learning teacher. So at any time you have questions or concerns, or maybe you're confused, please email the remote learning teacher through Schoology, and they will get back with you as soon as possible. Again, at the K-5 grade levels, we do have elective remote learning teachers that will be able to contact the student or parent more quickly than maybe any child at the 6 through 12 level. Please keep in mind that any teacher that is in-person learning and also has elective remote learning students, that these teachers will be teaching during the school day and will be dedicated to their remote learners during the office hours the teacher has in place. And to find those times, you can go to the elective remote learning plans, and it will show you and tell you the times in which the teachers will be available. Is this replacing Skyward for everyone? This is not replacing Skyward. Skyward will still be used for our student attendance and our primary gradebook. The good news about Schoology and Skyward is that they do interact. So anything that is graded within Schoology will then also just be moved over to Skyward in the gradebook. So if you're interested in looking at your child's overall grades, you'll still want to go into Skyward like you normally have been, and you'll see your child's overall grades there. The benefit of having Skyward and Schoology interconnect with each other is so that when a teacher grades an assignment, you as a parent can see the graded assignment in Schoology, and the assignment is automatically uploaded to the teacher's gradebook in Skyward. If it was me, I would go to Skyward like I normally would if my child was in person to check their grades and attendance. All right, one of the questions was my email address in Skyward is correct, but we did not get an email with Schoology information. Again, I would contact the school office, or I would also check your spam folder just in case the email went to your spam folder. If you cannot locate it, again, I encourage you to contact the building offices, but please keep in mind to be patient, as the first couple of days, our office secretaries will be very busy, and please know that we will get back with you as soon as possible. What happens if there is a power outage and we can't log in? That is a really good question, and we have thought about that, as that we know that can and probably will happen at some point along the line. So with that question, we want to let you know that, of course, as teachers and educators, we will be flexible. We understand that there may be power glitches or a power outage. We will be in communication with our families to let you know that that we are aware of the situation. If there is technology or a power outage on your end, I would just keep those open lines of communication with your classroom teacher, making sure that they are aware that you had a power outage and you couldn't get into Schoology to complete the work. and our teachers will work with you. But please understand that we will do our best to communicate any of those outages with you. And we understand that it will happen from time to time, but again, keep those open doors of communication between classroom teacher and yourself, so we don't count you not present when you were actually trying to log in and due to a power outage you couldn't get there. What is the plan for in-person students who are unable to attend tomorrow and Friday? So again, we are going to continue to work with students in Schoology. I know many teachers are planning to use Schoology as a part of their in-person instruction on a day-to-day basis. We will do our best to catch up any students that are not present at school tomorrow or Friday. The students will be using Schoology, like I said, in the classroom on some of the days. I would encourage your student, when they do come to school, let the teacher know that you were not there Thursday and Friday, which they will be aware, but just to remind them that, hey, I need to be taught how to use Schoology. My guess is we have amazing teachers here, so they'll probably already be on it. And when your child returns to school, they'll make sure that they get the tools and the information they need to be successful. So remote learners will not be logging in tomorrow morning. They will be logging in tomorrow morning as long as they have their school email address and their login. If they do not have that, we will need to get you that information. Again, contact the teacher through your parent account, letting them know that your child does not have their login and password. They will make sure that you get that. Again, the next 2 days, we're going to do our best to meet the needs of all remote learners and in-person learners. And I just appreciate you giving the teachers their patience as we move forward with this process. If you do not and are not able to log in as a remote learner, we understand that there might be some hiccups, but until we can get it all lined out, the teachers will be flexible with you. So again, if your child has trouble logging in tomorrow as a remote learner, please, as a parent, email the remote learning teacher or the classroom teacher so we can fix those issues and get the issues resolved quickly and as soon as possible. Do the kids go straight to breakfast, or do they need to go to their classroom first? Students will always go to their classroom first. Before they go breakfast, the teacher will dismiss them. Is the first day of school tomorrow for remote learners, or is it Monday when they pick up their device? If they can get on a device tomorrow, that would be fantastic. Again, the teachers will be flexible with attendance over the next few days until we can get our system straightened out. If your child does not have a device at home and they're waiting to pick up their device on Monday, that is perfectly fine. Again, be in communication with the teacher, explaining your situation, that you do not have a device and you will not be able to start remote learning till Monday, and they will be in communication with you and give you direction on where you need to go from there. Where can I find specific times for logging in to Schoology for an elective remote learner or full remote learner? Again, our plan is on the school website. You will be able to find the login times in the plans located on the school website. It should be under the tab COVID-19 resources. Underneath there, you will find all 3 plans: in-person, elective remote learning plan, and full remote learning plan. I personally suggest that you print those plans out, post those schedules somewhere in your house on your fridge, so that way in the event that your child moves from an in-person to an elective remote learner to a full remote learner, you always have the schedules that you will need to follow when you need them. Is it too late to choose to be in person? The answer is yes. During registration, we had you select whether you were going to be a remote learner or an in-person learner. And the reason why we cannot open up those registration is it is a scheduling nightmare, and a lot of things would have to be changed. So once you had registered, that is what we're going with. If you chose to be an in-person learner, then you will be in person, and unless you pull your child to be a remote learner, which is always an option. If you chose out of the gate to be a remote learner, the next time you will be able to come back for in-person learning would be after the first semester, which ends on December 22nd. There is a question about how many high schoolers are doing elective remote learning. I can tell you overall, we only have 16% of our student population currently elective remote learning at this time. Most of our remote learners are at the K through 5 grade level. Can my son get on in the evening on Schoology since my husband and I work during the day? The answer is yes. If your child is elective remote learning, and that's the key word, elective remote learning, your child will have more independence than if they were on a full remote learning schedule. So an elective remote learner will have more flexibility to do their schoolwork throughout their day, and work at their own pace. However, remember, the teachers do have work office hours at a certain time during the day for an elective remote learner that they will be making contact with their students. Again, email is always an option for parents to communicate with their child's teacher at any time. How are we supposed to know what time to attend each class? Again, we have those times located on our district website within our plan. Again, I strongly encourage you to print out those plans if you are able. So all of the scheduled times where your child needs to report to class is listed within the schedule. All right, I'll take a few more questions here and then we'll show another video, and I'll do my best to write down those questions so I can answer those before we leave here tonight. Do in-person students need to attend device pickup? No, they do not need to attend device pickup. If they are here in person, devices will be assigned to students. I do want to let you know that all K-5 students will not be sent home with devices daily. 6th through 12th graders will be sent home with devices daily. In the event that we need to shut down the school due to weather or go to a full remote learning schedule, we will make sure that all K through 5 students have their devices before they leave for school. The only people that need to pick up their devices are our remote learners at this time. My 3rd grader has not received a Chromebook. Do I call the office or is there another pickup day? If your pickup time has already passed and your child still does not have their device, I would encourage you to call the school office and we can get a time for you to pick up your child's device. Will students doing remote be able to pick up textbooks for Algebra 2 or other classes? We will be having a time schedule to pick up textbooks. The administration is currently working on that at this time. So again, I appreciate your patience and we will be communicating that out to you soon. Again, if you have not received any information due to your Schoology login, again, please go back and check Skyward, making sure all contact information is correct. If all information is correct, then please notify the school office and we will be able to get you the information you need. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on. And again, I will be checking the chat box as the videos are playing and do my best to answer all questions that are coming through before we leave tonight. Our next video that I would like to show is specifically geared towards the Schoology app that you will download on your phone. A lot of the things that we will see on the desktop in the video that we just saw will be the same as on the phone, but it does look a little bit different. So I think it's important that those of us that will be using the Schoology app using our phone, that we know the difference between what our phone screen will look like on Schoology and what our desktop computer will look like. So we're going to go ahead and start this video, and again, keep the questions coming in and I will do my best to answer those as we move throughout the evening.
Let's take a look at the Schoology app from the parent perspective. first thing I want to do is log in. I want to find my school in the Login Through Your School text area. If I come in, I can start typing the name of my school. When the school that I have students at appears, all I have to do is select that school, and then I can type in my username and password to log in. Once I log in, it's going to take me to my course dashboard. I am not currently enrolled in any courses, but I do want to view the courses that my students are enrolled in. Before I view any of my students' information, I am going to take you on a tour of the navigation for the app. If you look down at the bottom of our screen, you'll notice a clock icon. When I click on that, that is going to take me to my recent activity. This is a location where I have...
I apologize. Let me start that. Oops.
Let's take a look at the Schoology app from the parent perspective. The first thing I want to do is log in. I want to find my school in the Login Through Your School text area. If I come in, I can start typing the name of my school. When the school that I have students at appears, all I have to do is select that school, and then I can type in my username and password to log in. Once I log in, it's going to take me to my course dashboard. I am not currently enrolled in any courses, but I do want to view the courses that my students are enrolled in. Before I view any of my students' information, I am going to take you on a tour of the navigation for the app. If you look down at the bottom of our screen, you'll notice a clock icon. When I click on that, that is going to take me to my recent activity. This is a location where I have a feed of all of the update posts that have been posted within courses and groups that I belong to. If I keep going to the right in the navigation bar at the bottom, the squares icon, this is that course dashboard view. And then if I go to the right, I also have a calendar view. In the calendar, this is where I can find any activities or dates that have been created and posted within the courses and the groups that I belong to. I'm going to go ahead and click on the three bars in the top left corner. This is going to open up a navigation bar for other places within my site. You'll notice just below the Home button, I have a My Children button. When I click on this, this is going to allow me to view information for my student. Across the blue bar, I have courses, groups, and more. I'm currently viewing information for my daughter, Lainey Dawson. I can see that she has posted updates in some of her courses. She has work that she has submitted. She also has some discussion posts that she has replied to as well. When I click on the Courses button, this will show me all of the courses that my daughter is a member of. If I want to jump into a course and view it, I am going to have read-only access as a parent. I can go in and I can view different folders of information. I can view assignments, but I am not able to edit or submit or add posts to any of the assignments or any of the materials that are shared here in the course. I'm going to open up this first folder. You'll notice I can view all of the information here. If I select the Discovery of America assignment, I can see that my student, my daughter, Lainey, has submitted an assignment for this particular activity. If I go back and I select this discussion board, Thinking Out Loud, this shows me my student, Lainey, her posts within the discussion board. It also shows me that other students have posted, but I'm not allowed to see who that student is or the information that they have posted. You'll notice I also do not have access to post anything myself. Jumping back into this folder, At the very bottom, you'll see that there is a media album, Early American Explorers Project. If I open this up, you'll notice I can read the directions for this media album, and I can see the content that has been posted here. But I do not have the ability to go in and to post or share any media myself. When I go up to the top and select groups, if my daughter Lainey is a member of any groups, her groups will appear there, and I could go in and I can view the groups and the information that has been shared with her in that location as well. If I select the More option, I can view Lainey's grades, and I can view a calendar for all of the events that Lainey has coming up. This will show events for all of her courses. Let's take a quick look at grades. I can view a grade report. I can view mastery if the classrooms are grading based on a standards-based scale. I can also view her attendance. If I select that grade report, this is going to ask me to select the course I want to view the grades for. And when I click on that course title, I can see all of her grades that she has for different assignments, tests, quizzes, discussion boards. If I go back up to the top, you can see just to the right of grades, I have an attendance option. I can then again click on that course, and then I can see how many absences she has, how many late attendances she has, and how many excused absences she has. If I go back up to More, I can select Calendar. When I go back up to the top and select my 3 lines, this again pulls up that menu on the left. For myself, Chad Dawson, I can view any messages that I have received. I can view any notifications that I have. I can view any requests. I can also go back to my home page, which is my course dashboard. I can select courses if I'm a member of any courses. I can select groups if I'm a member of any groups. I'm going to go ahead and open up this group, and let's just take a quick look here. You can see that the course admin, one of my daughter's teachers, has posted some different updates. And within the updates, you'll see here, one of those has a linked document. I can open this document up and I can view it. Below that, there was a poll that was posted. Within this group, I have the ability to vote in this poll. I can also comment. You'll notice along the bottom, I have other options to navigate to within the group. Next to the Updates button, I have an Upcoming. This is going to show us a calendar of events that have been put into the calendar for the group. If I click into these, it gives me my directions. I also have the ability to comment. I can comment by selecting the plus symbol in the top right corner. When I'm ready to post my comment, I can select the green check mark, and now you can see my comment. If I click the back arrow, this takes me back to these other calendar items. If I select the Calendar tab next to Upcoming at the top, this takes me to just a calendar view. You can see I have items coming up on the 31st, noted by that blue dot. Again, down at the bottom in our navigation bar, I can select Discussions. Any discussions that have been shared, I can access here. I can select that discussion. I can come in, I can read the information, and I can post to the discussion here by selecting that plus symbol and then putting in my post. If I wanted to attach any items, this allows me to choose items from my own photo library. I can take a photo or video, attach any resources that I may have. I can also record an audio response, and I can select any items from any other iOS apps that are on my phone currently. Down at the bottom, you'll notice to the right of Discussions is an Albums tab. Here are different media albums that have been shared that I can go in and I can actually upload media and images to. If I select the media album, I can add my images or video that I have captured using the plus symbol. It allows me to choose from the library. I can select that option, and then I can add a caption if necessary. When I'm done, I can select the plus symbol, and now I've uploaded my image. I'm going to press this plus symbol one more time. If you notice up at the top where I have the two buttons, choose from library and take photo or video, I can add more than one image at a time. And if I add one, but then I want to take photos or videos of other things and then upload those videos or those images at this time, I can do that here as well. By selecting take photo or video, I can select whatever resolution I would like. I can take my image and then select use photo, and it will post that there. Again, I can add those captions, and then I can select the check mark symbol, and it will upload that media. Once the media has been uploaded, it lets me know that that has been added, and I can see those images there. Using media albums is a great way to get parents interacting with the group. You can use media albums for things like field trips, activities that are taking place in your classroom, class parties, any activities that are taking place within a school building where parents are invited to be involved. These, again, are great ways to get parents involved in your courses and in your groups and keeping them informed about what's going on within your school community and your classroom community. When I click on those three lines at the top left again, it's going to again take me to where I last was, which was in my groups view. If I select that back arrow, this takes me back to that main menu. I can also access any resources that I create as a parent. I have a cloud space for resources that I make or put together. I can also access my calendar. Again, this takes me back to that calendar view just like we used down in the bottom corner. I can change any account settings, so this would be a great place to come in if you wanted to get notifications for different courses for your students or different groups that you're a participant in. This would be a great place to come in and to set those notifications. The Help Center is a great place to come and get that how-to information for anything that you're struggling with in the app. And then lastly, at the bottom of this menu on the left, I have the logout option. You can see that the app has a lot of different functionality and can be very informational for parents, especially as your students are moving to online learning within the Schoology platform.
Okay, I do see some questions coming into the chat room here. Looks like we have over 40 questions or comments that we still have to get to tonight, and I will be here as long as I can to address any questions that anyone has as we move forward and with using Schoology. So what I would like to do is go ahead and show you the one last video that shows you the student side of Schoology. So the last two videos we watched were what the parent sees, what the parent can do. So now I'm going to show you a small video of what the student will be able to do and see on their side when they log into Schoology. And at that point, if anyone would like to stick around as I address all of the questions that are in the chat room, I would love for you to stay, but I also understand that if you're wanting to get off and come back, you can always do that as well. Just want to let you know that, again, this presentation is being recorded, so if you need to leave, you will be able to come back on at another time and watch the entire training, or you can just come back towards the end and listen to all of the questions and answers. So with that being said, I'm going to show again the last video that I have for you, which is the Schoology student view.
To sign up for Schoology, go to Schoology.com and click on the Sign Up Free button in the middle of the page. Click on the Student button. Enter the access code given to you by your instructor. If you're already registered, click Login in the top right corner. Enter your username or email address and password. If you are using a username, type in the name of your school. Each time you log in, you will be brought to your Schoology homepage. The right column lists your events, assignments, tests, quizzes, and graded discussions. You can also view these events in calendar mode. If you hover over an item under Upcoming, a clue tip will appear, giving you more information about the event. The left column lists your personal user tabs. Here you can check your grades and attendance.
Access your personal calendar, your personal messages, if enabled by your school admin, and the people in your school directory.
The recent activity feed is a live snapshot of all the courses and groups you're a part of. Along the top bar, you can access your personal messages, requests, and notifications. A number will highlight in red above each icon if you have a message, request, or notification. By clicking on your name, you can access your personal profile. Depending on the settings at your school, you can edit your profile information and even change your profile picture. The drop-down menu in the top right corner gives you access to your school profile, notifications, account settings, and privacy settings. To access your courses, click on the Courses tab along the top bar. If you are already enrolled in your courses by your school admin, all courses will already appear, and simply click on the course of your choice to access the course. Depending on your school settings, if you'd like to join a course, click Join and enter the access code given to you by your teacher. To join a group, click the Groups tab, click Join, and enter the access code given to you by your instructor. Your resources is like your personal library. You can connect your Google Docs to your resources by clicking Connect under Account Settings and enter your Google information. To participate in a discussion, simply enter your comment or reply and click Post. You also have the ability to post a file or link to each comment or reply. You can even like another student's comment. Interactive tests and quizzes can be created by your instructors for you to take online. These tests and quizzes can be true-false, multiple choice, ordering, short answer,
Fill in the blank, and matching.
Each test or quiz will vary depending on the instructor and the course. For some tests and quizzes, your instructor may allow you to view your past submissions. If this is the case, you will see an additional tab called My Submissions.
After you submit a test or quiz, your grades will appear in the Grades area.
You can also access your attendance, course members, and updates from each course profile.
Assignments with the due date will automatically display in the Upcoming area on your homepage. There's also a comments area for you and other students to ask questions.
Each assignment may include a Dropbox in the right column where you can submit files to your instructor. To submit a file to the Dropbox, click on Submit Assignment. Select a file from your resources, which can be a Google Doc if you've linked your account. Create a document on the web using the rich text editor, or select a file from your computer. These files can be graded by instructors who can also provide feedback via comments or by sending files back to you. Your teacher might give you the option to resubmit an assignment after making revisions. If this is the case, simply click Resubmit and turn in the revised assignment.
Anything with a date will appear in your upcoming calendar on your homepage, but you'll also be able to access these materials from the Materials Index in a course if these items are made visible by your teacher, as well as in the upcoming calendar within a course, or from within a designated folder.
To sign up for school.
All right, that concludes our presentation. However, I do see many questions in my chat room. So feel free, again, to leave the presentation if you need to, and otherwise you can stick around as long as you can, and I will address all questions in the chat room. Before I head in that direction, I want to thank each one of you for joining me tonight. I hope the presentation was valuable to you and the questions that I answered help you, I guess, in the future and make you feel a little bit more comfortable with us moving forward with Schoology. I do want to point out that I would appreciate your patience for our teachers and building administrators, our secretarial staff, as we head into the first week of school. If you have a question or concern, please feel free to reach out to us. Just be patient as we will be fielding many calls, I am sure, and we will get back with you, I promise, as soon as we can. The first question that I would like to address is my child has a Chromebook, but there has been an error code. And what if I can't get my child logged in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.? Again, I think it's really important we keep those open lines of communications with the students and their teachers. If you have login problems, there's two things that you can do. One, just double check to make sure you're using the right login and password. If you are using the correct login and password and you're still unable to get in, please email your classroom teacher. In Schoology, there is an email portion in Schoology that you can communicate with your child's teacher. Again, explain to them that you are unable to get in and they will work with you. Again, we here at Staunton will be flexible as we all begin to work within Schoology, whether we're in person or elective remote. Again, we'll all be patient. We'll be working together until we get all of our hiccups lined out. There were many questions in the chat room about where you can see specified times for an elective remote learner student or a full remote learner student. Again, I've mentioned that you can find these times within the Schoology platform on our district website. So again, if you go to COVID-19 resources, there is a tab in there and it has all of our plans in there. It has our in-person plan, elective remote learning plan, and full remote learning plan. As I mentioned earlier, I would encourage you to print those out so you always have access to those schedules, but that is where you're going to see the specified times of where your child needs to report and what time they need to report, depending on what plan that your child is currently in. Next question, my daughter is in pre-K. Does she have a school email? She will have a school email. We're trying to make it easy for our kindergarten, pre-K through grade 2 students, including pre-K, when they log in by having their app, the Schoology app, already on the iPad. So that way all they do is have to hit it. The teachers will do their best to make sure the student can get into the iPad. Again, if you have problems, please reach out to your teacher so we can help. I had another question about what time do students log into Schoology. Again, that will be found on our district webpage in our remote learning plans. Will remote learning plans accommodate an IEP? The answer is yes. If your child currently has an IEP, all accommodations will be met, whether they're in person or an elective remote learner. Do elective remote learners have to log into each class at a specific time on their schedule? The answer is yes. If they are a full remote learner, which means the entire district is closed, they will have specified times where they need to report on Schoology with their classroom teacher. If your child is an elective remote learner, that means while the other students are in person, your child has elected to remote. Again, it is more independent. However, they do have a time window where they can meet with their teacher, and that is specified in our plan on our website. Where are children to take their school supplies when they get here? The students will be going to their classroom first thing in the morning on Thursday, August 13th. Again, we will have many hands on deck to assist students to where they need to go. They will have a locker starting tomorrow. How do we go about getting a device for my sons? Again, if they are in-person learning and your child does not currently have a device, we will be giving those devices out tomorrow to grades 6 through 12 students. Those students will be taking their device home. K through 5 students will also have devices readily available to them. However, we are encouraging K through 5 students to leave their devices here at school unless the teacher has assigned something where they need to take them home. But for the upkeep and maintaining our school devices at the K-5 level, we will keep those here mostly at school. In the event that we do go full remote, we will be sending those devices home with our students. We have a device, however, we have no idea who our teacher contact. Again, you can go to Skyward and all of your information for your child's registration is in there. You can go into Skyward. It should list their child's teacher and who you would need to contact. Do kids who have Chromebooks at home need to bring them back to school or keep them at home? The students that have their Chromebooks at home and are an elective remote learner can keep those at home. They do not need to bring those back as that will be their device for this year. If your child is an in-person learner and they have a device at home, yes, have them bring their device to school starting tomorrow. That is very important. If your child has a device at home and they are in-person learning, please have them bring their device to school starting tomorrow. How much time does a remote student have to spend on each class? Again, you will find the specified times for the elective remote learners and full remote learners in our full remote learning plan and elective remote learning plan, which are on our district website. Again, I would suggest printing out those plans and keeping them on the fridge or somewhere in the house so you have those readily available when you need them. When will hotspots be available? We do have hotspots available currently at this time. If you are in need of a hotspot, please contact the building office. I do want to point out that all hotspots given on behalf of the district will work with only the school device they are given for. So if you get one hotspot, it will not work with all devices within the household. It will only work with a device given for that one device. So for example, if you have 3 children at home and you need a hotspot, you will get 3 hotspots because you will have 3 district devices at home, 1 hotspot per device. Can my child choose to change from elective remote learning to full remote learning? The answer is no. It's essentially the same thing. If your child is elective remote learning and the district has to move to full remote learning, there will be communication from myself that we will be moving to the full remote learning schedule. And at that time, you will need to begin following the full remote learning schedule. On the full remote learning schedule, students are required to log in Schoology at specific times within outlined in the plan to be counted as full attendance. So if you are an elective remote learning student and we go to full remote, you're going to be following the elective remote learning plan. We are now full remote. You will be following the full remote learning schedule and plan. So please keep that in mind. That does apply to our elective remote learners just as much as it does for our in-person learners. Really important that we listen to those communications that are sent out by the district, that if we move to a full remote learning, that we are requiring students to follow the full remote learning schedule. Again, those are located on the website in the plan. Okay, so we have a question about an in-person learner. Bus driver notified this person that he was marked remote learner. I called into the school and left a message. Again, I would call the school tomorrow, let them know your situation, email the school secretaries. They will be able to help you with that information. Again, I just ask for your patience as we will be addressing many phone calls throughout the morning and day, and we will get back to everyone as soon as possible. So I appreciate your patience in advance. What do our children need for supplies as remote learners for 8th grade? That's a great question. If you go to our school website, you will find there's supply list there. Obviously, crayons, pencils, colored pencils, pens, things like that, they may or may not need. It depends on what the classroom teacher has designed for them in their remote learning plan. I would suggest that you email your child's classroom teacher to ask that specific question. That's a great question, but I would assume that you would need most of the same supplies for an elective remote learner that you would need as a in-person learner. But again, if you're questioning that, I would suggest you email the classroom teacher. When is device pickup for second grade? Recently, this past week, we did send out device pickup information. We will make sure that that gets out again, or you can check the district website. I will make sure that that is posted on our website. Again, that was sent in an email. If you did not get it, please check your spam folder or check your history in your email, and that should pop up. Again, if not, I will make sure that those are posted on our website. It looks like Shelly, thank you, answered that question for me. So K2 device pickup is Monday from 10 to 2. Thank you, Shelly. Continuing to check the chat room here. Can my daughter and stepson be on Schoology together? Yes, the answer is yes. We do have within Schoology the capability to run at full capacity, which means that every child in your household can be on Schoology at one time. There was a question about signing in a Chromebook and how. Not sure what your question is referring to. I can do my best to answer that question based on what I see. If you are having problems signing into a Chromebook, I would suggest emailing your child's classroom teacher to give you some more specific information on how to address your concern. I received the parent login for Schoology, but not my student login. How do we get this information? As an in-person learner, your students will be getting this information at school over the next couple of days. If your child does not get that information, again, email the classroom teacher informing them that they did not get their information or login information into Schoology, and they will provide that for you. Again, if they're in-person learning, they will get that at school. If they are an elective remote learner, the elective remote learning teachers will be making contact with their students to get them this information. Okay, we had a parent say that the teacher says to go to StauntonSchoology.com on their Chromebook. Do not go to Schoology.com like the video states. That is correct. There is a prompt too that if you go to Schoology.com that you have to select the school first before you can get to the next step, or you can bypass that Schoology.com part of the login process and just go into our direct link to staunton.schoology.com and it will take you right to where you need to be. Again, if your child is in pre-K, you can get her login information from her classroom teacher. Again, keep those open lines of communication open with your teacher. It's really important that don't be frustrated. Contact us. That's our job. We're here to help you. We want to help you. So don't be afraid to reach out to us so we can assist everyone so we can get off on the right foot and be successful. There was, Katie let us know that once you accept the terms on the error screen, it will log you into your device for your children's email. And then either the first 3 letters of their first name, first 3 letters of their last name, and then the year they graduate, followed by stauntonschools.org. Thank you, Katie. Does when my daughter being in pre-K, I have a device she can use. Does she have to come pick up a device with Schoology already loaded onto it? No, that's what's great about Schoology. Schoology can be downloaded, or logged into at any computer. It is a web-based program, so you can use anyone's phone, anyone's computer, and even if it's at grandma and grandpa's house, they would be able to get into Schoology. They just may have to go through a couple extra steps, finding the school district name and logging into Schoology from there. So Kim had asked when she tried to log into Schoology.com, she got the message below saying, did you mean to log in through StauntonSchoology.com? Does it matter which way a parent logs in through? Absolutely not. The difference between going to Schoology.com and actually going to Staunton specifically Schoology page is that you're going to be able to bypass a couple of steps by just logging straight into the Staunton Schoology.com page. So you can still access Schoology through either link that you use. One just may require you to jump through a couple more hoops than what you normally would. Okay, on the website, there is a specific place for the remote learning plans. And Natalie, if you email me, I will be happy to just email you those times so you don't have to try to log and find that. I'll be happy to help you with that. Again, if you go to the COVID-19 resources on our school district webpage, there are several things there. You have to click on the remote learning plan, and within the remote learning plan, there's 3 plans: an in-person, an elective remote, and a full remote learning plan. In the elective and remote learning plan, there are specified schedules and times where students would need to log in. So for an elective remote learner, is the child required to log in at the times listed on the remote learning plan, or is it you have questions and you need help? So with an elective remote learner, again, it's more independent work. They're working at their own pace, at their own schedule. However, those teachers are going to be required to take daily attendance. They will be going in to make sure that your child has completed the required work for each day. They will be able to tell that. Your child does not have to connect with the remote learning teacher only if they have questions or if the teacher has requested them to meet with them at a specific time. So it really depends on the teacher and what they're wanting. If you do not hear from your teacher, your child most definitely can reach out to them if they have questions during that open conference time within the plan. If your child gets an email or a message from the teacher that's requesting them to meet with them, then they need to report. If circumstances change within the home, can a remote learning be put into person learning? Unfortunately, if you signed up for remote learning, that will be the case until the end of the first semester, which ends in December. If there are extreme circumstances, I would contact your building administrator. However, please understand that due to scheduling issues and other issues as a whole with building those schedules, we are requesting that all parents who signed up for remote learning have been committed to elective remote learning till the end of the semester. Again, if there are issues, you can contact your building administrator, but please, again, understand that we will not be making exceptions unless there is an extreme circumstance. I received the parent login, but not my student login. How do we get this information? Again, the student information, if they are in-person learner, will be given that at school tomorrow. They will be given their information for Schoology over the next couple of days. I would suggest that if your child comes home Thursday or Friday and they do not have that information, to please email the classroom teacher. They will be in contact with you to get that information. If your child is an elective remote learner, they will be given that information from their elective remote teacher over the next couple of days. Again, if you do not get that information, please do not hesitate to email your child's classroom teacher so they can get you that information. So can you explain what teaching experience will look like if the district has to go full remote learning? All our teachers are amazing here at Staunton and are certified and have been working very diligently to put their lessons into Schoology. We are going to make sure that our in-person learning is just as good as our elective remote learning. The teachers have been working extremely hard over the summer and the last few weeks to get their Schoology accounts up and running. They will be available, and I will tell you that they are looking great, and I'm very impressed with all of their hard work and what they have in the system so far. Again, if you have questions specifically in relation to that question, to email your classroom teacher or their elective remote learning teacher, and we'll be able to answer more specifics for you if you are wanting that. Are pre-K students getting an iPad if needed, or does it start in kindergarten? Right now, we have all K-2 students getting an iPad. Pre-K students, we're working on getting them iPads for them to use. Pre-K is kind of just a different animal altogether, just because they're so young, and working on a computer for several hours a day may not be developmentally appropriate. So again, keep those open communication lines open with the child's teacher. If they feel an iPad is sufficient and will meet the needs of the learner, they will make sure that they get those. Will all assignments be done online and submitted online? Yes, through Schoology, all elective remote learners and full remote learners will be submitting assignments and assessments online through Schoology. The teacher does have the capability to grade those assessments online. I have a 7th and 5th grader. Would it be possible to drop the 5th grader off prior to 8 a.m., enabling me to get to work? Unfortunately, the doors will not open for any pre-K through grade 5 student prior to 8 a.m. due to supervisory issues. If you drop your child off before 8 a.m., please understand that the school is not responsible if something happens to your child, simply because we do not have the supervision there to supervise students. I strongly encourage you that if you have transportation issues, that you maybe reach out to a neighbor, carpool, something of that nature. Please do not drop your child off before 8 a.m. Due to supervisory issues. How will students be taking notes as remote learners? It's really going to be individual on how a student takes notes. It's going to be what's best for them and how they learn. And I think that's really important for us all to remember, is that all learners, every child, probably even within your own household, learn differently. So they're being an elective remote learner, they're going to have to be more independent and do what's best for them. So if taking notes for them requires them to write them out or versus typing them, they're going to have to do what's best for them. Can I still enroll a second child for pre-K? I would call the elementary and primary office, and they can give you some more direction with that question. I registered my student for in-person learning, but she cannot attend the first few days of school. Will she do online school till then? That's a really good question. So if your child is in-person learning, we're going to operate business as usual. So if your child won't be there for the first days of school, I would contact the teacher and let them give you direction on how they want you to proceed. Some teachers will take the traditional approach and get their work together, put it in the office for a parent to pick up or send home with a sibling. Some teachers will use their Schoology account to assign assignments. So my best recommendation for you is, if your child is not going to be in school for any reason throughout the school year, if they're in-person learning, is to email the classroom teacher so you can know how to move forward and with how to make up that schoolwork. Do we need to wait after the first semester to go in person? Yes. If you had registered as an elective remote learner, you have to wait until December to register for in-person learning. We will be in communication with our families that are remote learners to give you a window of opportunity to go from a remote learner to an in-person learner. Our school offices will be communicating this information to our remote learner families in December. And if we don't hear from you, we will most likely be calling you to make sure we understand how you want to move forward for the second semester. The bit emoji is available to kids in Schoology. Do remote learners have to follow a dress code? No, you are at home or in your own location. If you are online with the conferences, we ask that all students are school address school appropriate. If all school remote learning goes into effect, will teacher be teaching as a teacher-led, or will coursework be made available online to kids left to figure out on their own with opportunities to reach out to teachers? That's a good question. If the district closes and we are all on a full remote learning plan, the students will be following a specific schedule outlined in the full remote learning plan. Okay, so they're going to have to log in and they're going to have to be counted as present. So if you have a 6 through 12 student, they're going to have to log in with their teacher every single hour. Okay, they're going to be taking attendance every single hour, every single class period. If you're a K-5 student and we go to a full remote learning plan, if you know in our full remote learning plan, there is a specific time where students will log into Schoology, and that's where they will interact with the teacher. The teacher will give more specific instructions on what they are asking the student to do, and that will be our way of taking attendance each day for that student. Okay, I'm gonna scan some more. Still waiting here. Again, if you have not received your child's login information that was sent out already, the Schoology parent login and password was already sent out in addition to Skyward being turned on. So if you're wanting to access your student's schedule or their teacher or their locker information that is available in Skyward, you just have to log into Skyward. You should go to the student access button and you're going to be able to see all your child's information there. The Schoology passwords and logins were already sent out. If you have not received that information, again, I strongly encourage you to email your classroom teacher, and they will be able to get that information, or you can reach out to our building secretaries to get that information. Again, I ask that you be patient with our building secretaries, or they will be fielding many calls, and I promise you they will get back to you with the information you need at some point. If you do not have a Chromebook for your child, please know that we do have a Chromebook for them. If your child is an elective remote learner, there are scheduled pickup days for that. If your child is an in-person learner and they're in grades 6 through 12, they will be getting their Chromebook tomorrow, and they will be taking those home daily. If the login does not work on the app, please just double check to make sure that you're typing it in right. I know sometimes I make that mistake myself. When I try to log in on my phone, I accidentally hit a number or a letter. Just double check that. If it still does not work, again, please reach out to our office. If you never got the email, but you have all your stuff in Skyward with your login information, I would encourage you to check your spam folder. All the information was sent out to our school families. If you still do not have it, then I would suggest that you reach out to your classroom teacher or the building secretaries. Everybody should have a login to their Skyward account that was given to you. So if you do not have a login to Skyward, please reach out so we can help you. The web page for the school district is Staunton CUSD 6. So if you type that in their search engine bar, you should be able to come up to our school district webpage. If you need new log information, the question was, can I get it emailed? Sure. If you email our school secretaries or the building secretary, they will get that to you as soon as possible. Again, if your child can't get into Schoology, I suggest that they wait till they're in-person learning. If your child is an elective remote learner, I ask that you please be patient and wait till your elective remote learning teacher comes out and works with your child to help them get logged in. Again, if you have not received the information, please email the building secretaries or call. They will be able to get that information for you. If only one of your children is showing up in Schoology, but the other one isn't, please email us and let us know so we can get this issue resolved immediately. Again, we appreciate your patience. I know everybody has questions. We're trying to field those calls as soon as possible and as soon as we can. I just ask that you be patient, reach out to your classroom teacher. If you don't hear a response, please keep just emailing us. I know personally for me, you will never bother me. I'll be here to help as much as I can. But I am also fielding many calls, but I promise you, I will make sure that your questions are answered. I know our teachers and secretarial staff and administrative staff are working diligently to do the same thing. So again, if you reach out to them, just be patient. They're working through all of the emails and questions as we're receiving those. If we go full remote, will there be enough tablets and Chromebooks to dispense among the kids? Yes, that is correct. All students, whether they're elective remote learning or in-person learning, will have a device. We will be considered one-to-one rolling out in this school year. If you have reached out to the school and you need help with registration, please let me know. Or again, if you could be patient, I know they're working through all the emails with registration. They will get back with you as soon as possible. Again, they are working very hard and diligently trying to answer all questions that are coming in and trying to get back to everyone. Again, I thank you for your patience. What time will attendance be taken? So if you're an elective remote learner, the teachers will be able to go in to see if all assignment and work is completed as requested and required for the given day. If the work is completed, they will be counting that student present. If they do not complete the work, they will be considered absent. Or if you reach out to your classroom teacher, please let them know. Some teachers, I can tell you that if a child didn't complete all of their work as an elective remote learner, they will be reaching out to them to see what the problems are, if there were any. If we notice the email is incorrect in Skyward, can we update it ourselves? Absolutely. You can update your information in Skyward. So if you log into Skyward and you go to My Account in the Skyward Parent Access panel, you can add or confirm your information, or if you need to change it. If that does not work, please contact us and we will be able to help you. When does second grade start? All students pre-K through grade 12 will start tomorrow, Thursday, August 13th. If your child cannot get into Schoology login and their information, I understand. And again, our teachers will be working with students over the next couple days to make sure that they can log in successfully. Again, if they do not come home with a Schoology login and password, please reach out to your child's classroom teacher. They will be able to get that information for you. Our goal over the next 2 days as a district is to train students on Schoology, make sure that they are able to log in successfully. Our teachers will continue to work with students as long as we're in person next week. If you have an elective remote learner, your child's elective remote learning teacher will be reaching out to them to make sure that they understand how to log into Schoology and walk them through that process. An elective remote learner, it may take a little bit longer just because we are doing it virtually, but we will make sure that they get there and feel comfortable. Again, if you feel frustrated or you're struggling, please email your child's classroom teacher. We are here to help, and we want to make sure that you have all the tools that you need to be successful. Okay. Again, if your son can't get into Schoology, we will be going over that tomorrow, whether they are an elective remote learner or a in-person learner. Again, just keep those open lines of communications open. If you don't get your information or the information you feel that you should have gotten, communicate that with your classroom teacher and they will be working hard to get that information for you. Again, you can update your information in Skyward by going to My Account under the Skyward Parent Access. Again, if you had trouble with the login videos, this presentation is recorded, so you will be able to access all videos that were within my presentation at a later time. All videos also have been uploaded to our school district webpage, so if you want to bypass all of the questions, you can do that and just watch the videos. Is there a way to work on an assignment and save it in order to come back and do it later? The answer is yes. Okay, we can do that. It is a web-based version. Once a student works on it and they leave the computer and come back, it should be where they left off. Okay, they're the ones who physically have to submit it. Will they go in depth with Schoology for younger children? Absolutely. It is going to be a learning process, especially for our younger learners. So it may take us several days to work with our younger learners to get them comfortable with Schoology. So a 6th through 12th grader, they will be up and running and understand and able to work the system, whereas a pre-K or a kindergartner, we're going to have to do a little bit more hand-holding with them. It's going to be a lot of repetition for them, but we are going to work very hard to make sure that they feel comfortable with the program. Our teachers are going to continually working with our younger students to make sure that they're comfortable. So again, please be patient and we will continue to work with our students. Again, all schedules for an elective remote learner and full remote learner will be on our school district webpage outlined in the plans. All elective remote learners and in-person learners will have a instructional video or in-person teaching on how they will be able to access Schoology. So I would encourage you to wait till after the next couple of days. If you still have questions, reach out to your child's classroom teacher. Okay. At this time, I believe I answered all of the questions that I have through the chat room. I again thank you for the 52 of you that are still with me. I appreciate it. It's been a long evening, I'm sure, for you. And I just want to let you know, I know you're going to have more questions as we dive into this, and that is perfectly normal. Again, I think it's important that we all keep those open lines of communication with each other, and we are here to help. We're going to work together as a team moving forward. So again, just keep those open lines of communication. We're going to do the best that we can to assist everyone, give you the tools that you need as an in-person learner, elective remote learner, or a full remote learner to help your child receive the best education possible that we can offer. Again, I thank you for your time, and we will see you in person tomorrow, or you'll be in contact with your elective remote learning teacher over the next couple of days. So again, I thank you for your patience and thank you for joining me tonight. Have a good night, everybody.